So I'm on my way to the hardware store to get some seedlings today. We're gonna do an experiment with absorbent paper. I know you can grow marijuana seeds in cotton, but we're gonna try this method. Dwarf mix, I grew them last year. These are nice. Toffee. Sold. Before I start the experiment, I want to give you a little tour of the garden to prove what a poor budding green thumb I really am. I ain't no expert. It's a lot of money, sweat and toil, all for very little payoff. First off, it's hard to work with crappy soil like this, and you can barely get your finger in any of this crap. Dead Grosso lavender, dying Grosso lavender, poor hider range, and another dead lavender right there. I went on a recent geranium trip and they all just shriveled up. I call this the garden graveyard. Anything that comes here, pretty much it's to seal its fate. Again with the geranium trip, I put this plant here, it was healthy as all hell, but it just shriveled up. Dying cyclamens, struggling. Here's another geranium. See, they just shrunk. I don't know why. And I paid $18 for this white one, and anything expensive, look at it. What we have here is a yellow hibiscus. The only problem is this time of year, for some reason, the leaves turn all yellow. Can you see it? See all the yellow leaves? And I don't know why, but the flowers, they're not given a chance. They bloom. They'll bloom here in bud, but they fall off. I don't know why. And here we go again. Hot pink geranium. What is wrong with this picture? You buy a plant so that it'll grow, not decrease. This was 5 times its size when I bought it. Only one Grosso lavender managed to grow out the front in this cold, dank spot out the front. What gives, man? I thought plants required the sunshine to grow. Experiment 1. They say you can germinate the seeds just by tipping them in water and kind of keeping them a little bit on the heat. For the last 4 to 5 years I've tried to grow sweet peas and it's the same result year after year after year. That first line of planting, they don't germinate. You have to buy 2nd and 3rd and 4th packets. This is my 3rd packet. I saw a lady with this new technique of getting absorbent paper towels, and you stuck them, wedged the seeds between them and moisturize them. There are 83 seeds here altogether. I'm not sure how moist you're supposed to keep that. I may start putting 10 in each from here on in. I'm gonna double tag that one. 1, 2. Me personally, I think this method is all hooey and that we won't see any results. Somebody also suggested that you're supposed to put this in a perforated Ziploc bag. Why? I'm not so sure. I put some paperweights on that one and will be sure to keep it moist. As for those ones, I highly doubt that anything will germinate just sitting in water. This is last year's seeds that fell off the vine, right? All them, they're going healthy. One up there. And this is this year's planting, which isn't doing too swell. You'll see a lot of vacant positions. But if we pan right and if it will focus, look at all this real estate here. Look at the barren wasteland. The idiots on the packet suggest that you space them out individually each by 12 to 14 inches. Man, I don't have that real estate and I can't work with this garbage soil. Look at this, man. I once did a demonstration. This is what my garden does to our utensils. I can't work with this. I hate the contradictions when it comes to planting sweet peas. The back of the packet says to plant them, water them in well, don't water them again until something sprouts up. Yet this method says to keep them moist at all times. Huh? I like to do a welfare check every morning to see if anything new come up. This is very poor. Really disappointed. I've put 2 lots of seeds in this patch. There's some sink or swim theory when it comes to the seeds. Something about if they float to the surface, they're good. If they sink, they're all hogwash. There's a whole lot of horse shit when it comes to gardening. People talk a whole lot of smack in this field. Somebody flew this cheap piece of shit drone into our garden. See that white hibiscus there? It's a very dainty paper-like flower. I can guarantee you that when they bloom, they will drop off in a matter of 2 to 3 days. See all the dead yellow leaves on this? And it's been chewed as well. I just spotted something in the flower. I don't know if this will come out, but there's sort of a beetle. See them? Nothing doing there as expected, but holy moly, check this here. Wow. I started this experiment on St. Patrick's Day and it's now Thursday. I actually grew something. It's a good thing I didn't have to use this, as I wouldn't want to have seen anybody get hurt. However, the true story underneath paints a grim picture, not a bloody thing. Oh man, I didn't want to have to use this. I would consider this a 50-50 rate of success. The bare vacant patch is showing some signs of life, I guess. But you can still see a lot of the vacant patches. See the dark shaded areas? 2 days later, and I told you, that white hibiscus bud didn't even have a chance and the stem has already died. But that would be the paper-like flower. Here's a different angle from behind. And what do you know? It looks like everything's getting a wriggle on. As you can see, a few of these sprouted in the water method, but my patience is wearing thin with this whole experiment, so I'm just gonna plant them. For reasons unexplained, some of the absorbent paper method failed to materialize, and that puts me in the mood to use this. Purple and orange and blue, I can sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow too. What's the matter? Haven't you heard an armed man sing before? Jesus Christ, you should smell this. As you can see by the demonstration, these are all the wallflowers who didn't bring their A game. I'll have to find a spot for them up the back there somewhere. It's funny how some seeds grow to the surface and sprout. See it? You go and fork out a lot of money to try and have something nice, but heaven forbid if that were the case, as the snails say otherwise. There were snail tracks here, but I'm not going to apologize to snails. The real culprit is this caterpillar here. The main culprit why shit dies in your garden is this beast right here. Suffer unto me, child. These little shrimp looking bastards right here. Just drown the bastards or tread on them and squish them. The curl grubs show no mercy, so why the fuck can't I extend the same courtesy? Look what I just found in the garden down here. Can anybody guess what they are? Would you consider this a success? I am not entirely sure. All those absorbent paper shoots, only about 3 of them came up here. And all the ones that were put into water, not one of them came up over here at the back. Not a one. We'll let it slide for the time being. Death to curl grubs. Wait a minute, is that bastard moving? But I drowned them for 5 days. What the hell?